All righty, welcome everybody to this sixth episode of Doug's Dugout. And in the house tonight, like we've had for the last six times, is Doug Blunt. He is the MLB guru of gurus for the RGV in the state of Texas. And he's also the Apple guru, but there's no Apple news. Doug, welcome back.
Hey, I'm glad to be back.
Yep, yep,
I'm
I'm
glad that
glad.
we're running a few games now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's some hope, Doug. There's some hope.
there's some hope.
There's
We may
always
get out of the
hope.
cellar. We may get out of the cellar here by tomorrow night.
Well, one of the things that we're hoping works tonight is I'm actually trying to stream into Instagram, which is the ninth social media platform that we're on. So I don't know if it's going to work. It wasn't working a few weeks ago when I signed up, but hopefully it does. I'm hoping that my yellow ducky works because I have to go through an intermediary to actually stream into Instagram. I can't do it directly like I do with the other shows. So
Okay.
we'll see if the ducky performs tonight or not. So, but anyway, Doug, what's going on in the MLB?
Well, we had the All-Star break, home run derby and the All-Star break on Monday and Tuesday,
Yeah,
and the National League finally won a game. First
yeah.
time they've won since 2012.
Wow,
Okay.
that's
Yeah,
quite a spread.
yeah, when I was a kid, the National League used to win all the time because we had Musial and Willie Mays and Lou Brock and Hank Aaron and those guys. But for the last 10, 15 years, maybe 20 years, it's all been in American League.
Wow, wow. Well, that
So, yeah.
go ahead.
So we came off the All-Star break. Most of the teams are off the whole week. Oh, they took off last Sunday. All-Star break was the home run derby was Monday night. All-Star break was Tuesday night. And then all the other all the other teams, they took it easy till Friday night.
Yeah.
And the Cardinals played the Nationals Friday night in St. Louis and immediately got in a couple of innings and got it poured in St. Louis, so the game got suspended
Yeah.
and picked it up the next day. And there's some teams that are falling behind in the Central. Pittsburgh, they're on a rapid dive down, and so is Cincinnati. So
Wow.
I'm
Wow.
kind of thinking the Cardinals may be up there at about second place by the time the first week in September comes.
Oh, wow. Well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah,
Hope is
yeah.
alive,
Hope is alive.
As Jesse Jackson used to say. Hope is alive.
Yeah, and he just finally resigned out of the Rainbow Coalition over the weekend.
Yep. And we're not talking
Yeah.
about the rainbows as we know them today. There was actually a coalition called the Rainbow
Coalition,
Coalition.
the Rainbow
And it did
Coalition.
not stand for what it stands today, by the way.
No, completely different now. Completely different.
Totally different. But anyway,
Remember,
yeah.
remember Rush Limbaugh and his impersonation of Jesse Jackson? Remember that?
No, I
The
don't.
Reverend. He used to say, the Reverend Jackson.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't know how old he is. He must be up there by now, you know?
He's in his 80s and he's suffering from Parkinson's disease.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I figured he was up there. I mean, most of the people that ran for president in his era are dead. You know, Michael Dukakis and who is the other one? I mean, well, Gary Hart. Is Gary Hart still alive or no?
Yeah, I think he might be dead too.
Yeah. All those
You know,
old
I think
Democratic
we're getting off
dogs are
subject
gone.
here, but I was surprised. There's a Broadway play about Imelda Marcus, right?
Oh yeah,
I
Miss
saw it.
5,000
Yeah,
Shoes.
yeah. And yeah, 5,000 shoes. And she is still alive. I couldn't believe it when I heard that. She is still alive.
Yeah, and I think she still holds a seat in the House of Representatives of the Philippines.
Yeah, her son is Ferdinand Marcos Jr. is the president of the Philippines.
Is he? I thought he hadn't
Yeah,
gone. Oh wow. Talk,
yeah.
talk about blast from
I,
the
I was
past.
surprised at that. I thought she died years ago, but she's still kicking literally with all their shoes, right?
There was a movie or some kind of movie that I saw a few years back, and she wasn't a bad-looking lady in her day. She actually
Oh, she's
sung
beautiful.
really well.
She is beautiful. She is beautiful.
I mean, we all know that she married, Ferdinand Marcos for the prestige. I mean, that was probably,
I remember. I remember when she got stabbed. She was giving a speech back in the mid '60s,
yeah.
and one of the audience, when they got up there and they stabbed her. She had a white dress on. They always
Wow.
wear the little butterfly deals
Right.
on the side. Yeah, they came up and walked on stage and stabbed her.
Wow.
But
Well, there's
she
one thing to be
obviously
said
survived.
about Imelda Marcos. She knew how to dress well. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah,
Whatever
she's smart
money,
lady.
whatever money she may have stolen, you know,
They said everybody liked her. I mean,
you know.
I've seen accounts that everybody liked her.
Oh yeah, yeah,
She's very
yes.
popular in the cocktail circuit
Oh yeah,
in New York.
yeah,
And you know,
yeah.
and I thought, wow, that's amazing.
That's
No,
actually when we took care of our dictators. We don't do that anymore. We let them get dragged out like Gaddafi did in the end.
yeah, in the end, yeah, that's for sure.
After we
That's
after we scored some deals with them. Anyway, all
or
right.
either that the guy in charge of Afghanistan, he he took so much money with him, couldn't get all on the helicopter.
That's right. What was his name? Karzai or whatever it was.
Karzai, something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, Doug. All right. Well, one of the
I
things I
guess we
want.
gotta get back into baseball.
Yeah,
A
I
lot
think
of
we
trade
should.
rumors. A lot of trade rumors going around.
Yep.
There's buyers and sellers.
Let me flip over to the screen here, and let me go over to. I'm working on as you know, we've got our e-magazine, but one of the sections that I'm working on for you is I've got a whole section collecting all these articles about your St. Louis Cardinal headlines. So,
Oh, good. Well, maybe
so
I'll start contributing to that here a little bit. May help you out a
yeah.
little bit.
So basically, there's all kinds of articles here. I don't know who Kisner is, but he's apparently
Yeah,
they
Kisner.
activated him.
He played today.
He did.
Yeah, he got hit in the groin about 10 days ago. Boy,
Oh
did he get hit
gosh.
too. And he had to go on the DL, so they activated him today. Cardinals are catching 3 catchers. They brought a kid up from Memphis named Ivan Herrera that
Uh-huh.
played last night, got a couple hits, and he got hit in the groin too.
Wow.
But he stayed in the game.
Wow.
And then, Kisner is our second string catcher.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Wow.
not much. He does okay. He's hitting better this year. Last year, he couldn't hit. He couldn't hit the barn door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's an article here with regards to 5 trade packages for St. Louis, and it's by a website called redbirdrants.com. I don't know if you've ever been there.
Yep. I'm quite familiar with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's
Yeah.
the rumors there? You want to get into the rumors?
Yeah, I'm getting there here. Give me a second.
Okay.
It's a little slow. Let's see here. Here
Got
are
a
the
lot of
five.
banners, I'm sure.
Yeah, here are the 5 trade packages for the Cardinals' rumored trades. Trade number
Okay.
5, they're saying that your Birds are going to receive Lance Lynn.
Yeah, let's talk
And
about Lance Lynn
okay,
a little bit here. Lance Lynn came up through the Cardinals system about 10, 15 years ago. He's a veteran pitcher. And I think he was on the 2011 World Championship team, 2013. He's had a couple stops since then. He went free agent about the same time Albert went free agent in 2014. And he went down to Texas for a while, and I think he was in Minnesota. And then he went over to the White Sox. He had a good year last year. Okay.
mm-hmm.
And but this year he's not doing so great, I don't
Yeah,
think. The thing about Lance Lynn is that he eats a lot of innings. He'll go 7 or 8. When he's right, he'll go 7 or 8 innings.
Yeah.
So that's what these teams want. They want these pitchers that can, make, maybe allow 3 runs, maybe 4 runs, and go 7 or 8 innings. So
Okay.
he's a veteran pitcher. Um, he might have some. He might still have some octane left in the tank. I don't know.
Right.
And then we're going to see one. Oh, okay. The deal. I had never heard of this one. Okay, Juan Yepes. Yepes was up last year
Mm-hmm.
and part of this year. He's the Cardinals are blessed with a lot of outfielders.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and with the emergence of Jordan Walker, Yepes is his stock has gone down quite a bit. And he was up earlier this year, but he wasn't hitting. His claim to fame was that he hit a home run in the champion in the playoffs last year
Mm-hmm.
for the Cardinals. And then he was Albert's buddy. There was always this whenever you saw Albert and you saw Juan Yepes, and
Mm-hmm.
they were always in the dugout, and it was like a little kid. Yepes was like a little kid around Albert because they was always looking at the iPad, and
Yeah.
Albert and him was always talking hitting and all that. I like Yepes, but he's primarily a first baseman outfielder.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he's playing down in Memphis, and I there's really no room for him.
Right.
So I'd like to see him go somewhere so he can play every day.
Now they're saying that he's going to go to the White Sox
Yeah,
potentially.
White Sox need some help.
Yeah.
They've had a disappointed season.
Let's see who else is on the list here. Uh, why am I getting the trade number 5? I should have gotten more than that. Let's see previous.
I,
Oh,
that
trade
sounds like a
4.
trade that might happen.
Trade 4. Cardinals are going to receive Brian Wu, and they're going to give up Norland Gorman to the Mariners, possibly. Is that the way I'm reading it?
Don't No, I don't think that'll happen.
No.
No, um, Gorman is a he was in that class last year with Nolan Gorman, Donovan, and Juan Yepes.
Huh.
Okay, all 3 of them came up from Memphis, and um, Gorman is he's having a great year.
Yeah.
He hit 2 homers today. Okay, and he can play a couple of positions. He can play first base and the outfield positions, and he's just he is, and he can play the infield. I don't think, and he hits with a lot of power,
Mm-hmm.
and so and his strike zone is he knows the strike zone very very well. So
Mm-hmm.
he's improved tremendously from last year. Last year he had the rap of not being able to hit a fastball,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of strange. And he worked on that during the off season. And no, he's struggled earlier toward the end of July, first week in July, or end of June, first week in July. He struggled. He he striked out a little bit too much, but he's back on kilter now. So I don't think they'll trade him.
Okay.
I think they'll keep him.
Okay. Let's see
I
who.
don't know anything about Brian Wu.
Yeah. Let's see what trade number 3 looks like. Give me a second. They're saying that the Cardinals will receive Clayton Beater and Drew Thorpe and will give up Dylan Carlson.
Yeah, that would kind of surprise me because Dylan Carlson's only 23. He's a
Uh-huh.
switch hitter, and he's had some injury problems this year, but when he's in, he plays pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
He's played for the last 3 years with the Cardinals pretty much every day when he's healthy. Um,
Yeah.
he is probably close to his arbitration year,
Yeah.
so that may be the reason why they might move him. But like I said, they have a surplus of outfielders, with Jordan Walker. Jordan Walker, there's no way they're going to trade Jordan Walker for anybody. Okay. And um, they got this kid named Burleson that's a different type of ball player than Carlson.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of he's a big guy. Okay. But he hits the ball real hard. Carlson, Carlson's a good center fielder. Um, and Lars Nootbaar can play center field pretty good. that's a possibility, but I just can't see them giving up on Dylan Carlson. Not when he's only 23.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's see what trade number two is, or potential trade number two. I shouldn't say trade because it hasn't
Okay.
happened, right? Trade number two, the Cardinals. What? Well, they're saying Clayton Beater and Randy Vasquez, and they'll give up Flaherty and O'Neill to the Yankees.
Well, O'Neill for sure. Okay. O'Neill's been hurt all year. He had one good year 2 years ago, and I think he hit 29 homers. You know, uh, uh he's he's built like Arnold Schwarzenegger. His dad was a bodybuilder, Canadian bodybuilder, and he's built. I mean, he really is. And he's reportedly he's like the fastest guy in baseball.
Wow.
Okay. So he can fly. But the trouble is he can't stay on the field.
Yeah.
He's been out since May, and I think he's on a rehab assignment right now, but I don't know what they're going to do with him. And he's had some trouble with the manager. Okay, there was a situation earlier in the year where um, the manager said he wasn't hustling enough,
Yeah.
and O'Neill, allegedly he said that he was going to do his best to stay on the field this year because during the off season, he had a different routine. He brought his masseuse down to St. Louis, and when he worked out, he relaxed his muscles. It seems like he's always got something wrong with him, usually a hamstring
Mm-hmm.
or and he's had back problems. So, and he's on I think he might be a free agent this year. So I look for him to go.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Flaherty, he came up a couple years ago, pitched very well for the Cardinals. The last 2 years, he's kind of had some arm problems.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the one that he had an oblique problem. He was up there at the plate and he swung like freaking, Pete Alonso or somebody. And he tore up an oblique muscle and he was out just about the whole summer last
Wow.
year. This year, yeah, I guess he wanted to be Babe Ruth and that's when they didn't, the year before they didn't have the DH. Well, now but anyway, they have the DH, so he doesn't get up there. But he's been back this year. He's pitched very good. He pitched today. He pitched very good today.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And he went like 6 innings, 7 innings, and I think he allowed one run. No, he was, yeah. He's at his free agent year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the Cardinals are going to give him a long-term contract.
Mm-hmm.
I suspect they're going to keep him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, since they're going to get a right-hand pitcher, Clayton Beater and Randy Vasquez. Man, I don't know. I don't know about that one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know either one of these guys for the Yankees, but Tyler O'Neill, I think you can say he's gone because now since we've got Jordan Walker, Lars Nootbaar, Dylan Carlson, and this kid named the kid that hit a homer yesterday, he we got maybe a little bit too many outfielders, and Edmund can still play. Edmund played center field for almost a month and he played good.
Mm-hmm.
So that could happen, but I don't think so. But
Yeah.
O'Neill's gone.
Yeah.
I'll guarantee you that.
Well, let's see who the trade number one is. They're saying that the Cardinals will receive Logan Gilbert and they will give up, well, they're saying Gorman again and Giovanni Gallegos.
Okay. Nolan Gorman, we just talked about him. Okay. Yeah. And Giovanni Gallegos, he's we got him a couple years ago on a trade. He's pitched pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
He's been a kind of a mainstay for the Cardinals as a relief pitcher. We definitely need some decent relief pitchers.
Mm-hmm.
The relief pitching is our problem right now. Well, I don't know about that. I just don't think they're going to give up Nolan Gorman.
Yeah.
Maybe they might give up Gallegos, but you know. By the way, Giovanni Gallegos, guess where he's from?
Where?
Monterey.
Really? Mexico or
Yeah,
California?
yeah. No, no, Mexico.
Oh, wow.
I remember about 4 years ago, 3 years ago, before the pandemic, the Cardinals. MLB is always trying to promote baseball in other areas of the world, right?
Right.
And the Cardinals had a game with Cincinnati in Monterey,
Oh,
you
wow.
know. And when I was at work, I tried to get somebody to go with me to Monterey. Nobody could go with me. Okay. And Gallegos was a rookie, and he pitched that game, and he's from Monterey, and
Mm-hmm.
they pitched him in his hometown, and they hit like 4 consecutive home runs off him. It was so funny.
Wow.
Yeah. And so, but then after that, he settled. I mean, they had him down in Memphis for a while and they brought him back. And the last 3 years, he's pitched pretty good. This year has been kind of rocky, but all the relief pitchers except Stratton's been rocky. So that
Yeah.
could happen.
Wow. Yeah, and there was another article. Let me see that I saw. Give me a second. Let me see. Where was it? Uh, oh, there's an article about who the Cardinals have said is off limits for any kind of trades. Let's
Okay.
see if let's see if you agree with this article here.
Okay.
Let me see. St. Louis Cardinals are reportedly off limits in the trade talks, and they're saying Arenado, Goldschmidt, Nootbaar, and Walker are no deal for anybody.
I agree with that. I would agree. I would Arenado, his contract is like 26 million a year. Okay.
Yeah,
And it's a long-term contract. And Arenado is just awesome. He
yeah,
really is. I mean, he made some plays today, and his hitting is good too. He's hitting like 283. He's got about 70 RBIs now, and he had a homer last night. It was just unbelievable.
yeah,
Goldschmidt, you know, out of all that, okay, Lars Nootbaar, maybe they might trade him, but I kind of doubt it. Jordan Walker for sure. He's a rookie. He just turned 21, 6'7",
yeah,
and I saw him play last year, and we saw him playing at Corpus Christi last year.
yeah,
Yeah, and he's learning to play the outfield. He's a natural third baseman, and you're not going to knock Arenado out of third base. So, matter of fact, when we went to Corpus Christi and saw him play, that was his first game in left field,
yeah,
and he made a catch last night, Danny, that was really unbelievable. He
yeah,
came in on a ball and dived for it. It was a good catch, saved the game for the Cardinals at a
yeah,
good time, and they're not going to get rid of him.
yeah,
Goldschmidt, the only thing I can say about Goldschmidt, I like Goldschmidt. He's a rock. He's an everyday ball player, never gets hurt. He's out there probably about 150 games a year, which is really, or more. Okay. He gets this right now. He's hitting like 280. He's got like 16 homers. He's got like 60 RBIs. He was most valuable player last year in
mm-hmm.
baseball. And he'll get he'll probably get 25 or 30 homers in this year. He'll get his 100 RBIs and he'll hit about 280. Typical Goldschmidt. And his defense is probably one of the best first basemen in baseball.
Yeah,
His age could be his age. He's 36.
yeah,
Okay. So that may be an influence, but this is his last year of his contract.
mm-hmm.
Okay. And so they may sell him and already get some young prospects. But there again, him and Nolan Arenado, they're both 10-year players,
Mm-hmm.
which they have the right to refuse a trade.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't think, Goldschmidt's a good Texas boy, and he's real quiet, but he's like a silent leader. I don't think they're going to get rid of him. I mean, they could. they could trade Goldschmidt away. Maybe you get a couple relief pitchers, maybe, but then you got, and you could put Gorman on first base, or you could put, um, or there's a kid down in Memphis named Lucan Baker that's
Mm-hmm.
like 6'4" and weighs about 280 pounds or so. Just hits the ball all over the place. He's a first baseman, and he's a young kid. He's only like 22 years old, but I don't think they're going to get rid of Coach Schmidt. But
Mm-hmm.
we'll see what happens. But Coach Schmidt would be the one that they were going to move. That's the person they're going to move because of his contract.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, that was, quite a section there on your Redbirds. Let's go ahead and turn to the rest of the league here and see where
Yeah.
everybody's at. All righty. Let's see. iPad's a little slow today. I've got to do a iOS update tonight, supposedly. So some kind of
Are you running the beta on it?
I'm running 16, but apparently they're saying that there's a security update.
There is. I just updated my phone and my Macs the other day.
Yeah.
It doesn't take very long.
All righty. Well, let's look at the American League East as it lists there. The Tampa Bay is 60 wins and 36 losses.
Still rolling, man. Tampa Bay
Mm-hmm. Yep.
is
And
a
then you
juggernaut. Doesn't look like they're going to slow down at all.
yeah. And then you've got Croston's Baltimore there, 57 to
Baltimore. Yep.
35. Yep.
Baltimore may make a trade. I've heard rumors about Baltimore kind of, just helping them out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
They may trade for a veteran. Yeah, they
Yeah.
might trade for Goldschmidt, but I don't think they will.
And then you've got Toronto in third.
Yeah. Toronto making a move.
Yeah.
Um, and they're only 6 games out.
Yeah.
Possible that second wild card berth.
Yeah. And then of course the last two are at the bottom, Boston and the New York Yankees.
Man, isn't that surprising?
Yeah.
Boston got rid of all their players last year, and they just, over the winter they got rid of their two best ball players, and they were slated for the cellar this year, but the Yankees are in last place. Wow, that's kind of surprising. All the money the Yankees spend, you're still
Yeah.
playing 500. Excuse me, 500 ball.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
9 games out. Mm, got a chance.
Yeah.
They could get hot. Yeah.
Now in the AL Central, Minnesota's back on top. I thought they were second against Cleveland last week.
Yeah. Can you change your screen?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Roll it up. Yeah, Minnesota. Yeah. Um,
I thought I saw
just
Cleveland up in first place last week. Did something change? Do you
no.
know?
Yeah, Cleveland's they're struggling right now. They're not even playing 500 ball yet.
No, look at that. They're not.
Yeah, yeah.
You got Detroit
It's
right
a
behind them too.
weak division.
Yeah.
You know, Detroit, White Sox. And then you got Kansas City. They've only won 27 games.
Yeah. And
You
they're
know,
playing 200 down at the 200 level.
yeah.
That's not
There's a
good.
rumor. There's a rumor that Kansas City's got a catcher named what's his name? He's a Latin ball player, Sanchez or something like that. Not Sanchez, but he's been with Kansas City for a long, long time. Pretty good catcher,
Hmm.
pretty good hitter, but he's like the oldest guy on the team. There's rumors about them moving him.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well, you've got
but
yeah, go ahead.
there again, he's a 10-year ball player, so he's got the
To
right of trade
refuse.
refusal.
And in the American League West, you've got Texas in first place.
Texas still hanging in there.
Yep. And then you've got Houston breathing on them in second place.
Yep. Yeah, they're doing fine.
Yep.
It's typical. Texas kind of a surprise. Like I said earlier, in the last couple of weeks, they went out and spent a lot of money, especially on pitching,
Yeah.
and it's come through. So
Yeah.
good. They seem like they got their act together. So, um, Houston, in Houston, I mean, Dusty Baker, I've said this too, is that he's got to be 150 years old because he's been in baseball forever. He played with Hank Aaron.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then you've got Seattle in third
Big
place there.
disappointment this year. Yeah. Big disappointment this year, Seattle.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. They can't get their act together.
And then you've got the Angels and Oakland down at the bottom of that
Yeah.
league.
Well, the Angels, it looks like they may, Otani is a free agent this year.
Yeah. By the
So,
way, is he gonna get? Is he gonna get? No, he can't get traded, right? No.
yeah, he can.
Oh, he
Yeah.
can't. Yeah.
Yeah. And you can almost get a whole another ball team for him.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So you think
So,
he's leaving?
well, I don't know. I mean, Mike Trout, he's still, him and Mike Trout are the two best players in baseball. For some reason, Angels can never get their act together. And no matter how much money they spend, um, a lot of people come to see Otani play. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but there again, they could almost get a whole new ball club for Otani if somebody wants to give up at least five ball players to get a guy part time. I don't know. Maybe some team on the stretch drive, some team maybe like Texas.
Yeah.
Okay, they may pick him up, and rent a player for the rest of the season, hoping they'll get in the World Series.
Right.
We don't know.
Yeah.
Or maybe San Diego.
Yeah.
They've been known to do something like that.
Yeah.
Oakland. What can you say about Oakland? you know.
All right. And our attention is now to the National League in the East. Atlanta is still on
Well,
top.
Atlanta's pulling away now.
Yeah. Yeah.
They got a 9.5 game lead. Miami, the Cardinals start playing Miami tomorrow night in St. Louis. That should be a good series.
Mm-hmm.
They pretty much clean their clock down in Miami right before the All-Star break, but it's nice to see some ex-Cardinals and Skip Schumacher on there.
Yeah. And you've got
Philly
Philadelphia
playing much better ball now.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they're going to catch Miami though. Yeah. They could. They got all their ball players back now. See, there's a team that would go after somebody like Goldschmidt.
Yeah.
Okay, so they need, let's say they need a puzzle. They need a piece of the puzzle to go for the stretch drive from the end of July till the end of the first week in October. Goldschmidt could help their team a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Goldschmidt could DH or play first base, and they need a first baseman. So they that could be a deal if the Cardinals get some good ball players, but I don't think that's going to happen though.
Yeah. And then you've got
Mets. Wow.
Yeah. And then you've got another dwindling New York team. The Mets and Washington are at the bottom.
That's unbelievable. All that money they spent on the offseason, all those superstars they went out and got, 18.5 out of first place.
Yeah.
I think they're definitely going to sell some players, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And get rid of some salary.
Yeah. Make some room.
Washington, saw quite a bit of Washington this weekend with the Cardinals. They've got, they won it in 2019. And since then, they've been like on a fire sale. They've got rid of some players. And, Strasburg, their ace pitcher, young pitcher, he hurt his arm and may not even play baseball again. And then they got rid of Juan Soto last year. They got, there's a kid on there named C.J. Abrams. They got on the Juan Soto deal from San Diego. He looks like he literally looks like a 15-year-old kid. He's 22 years old, but that's how young he looks. And he's a good baseball player. So they played the Cardinals pretty good, over the weekend. But they're rebuilding. I think maybe next year, or the year after, they should be a contender.
Yeah, yeah. And then you've got the National League Central. Milwaukee is in first place.
Yeah, well, Milwaukee's slowly pulling ahead, and then Cincinnati, they're on a nosedive.
Yeah,
Okay, they haven't scored any runs, and they're not hitting or anything, and they're uh, they're gonna fade.
yeah,
I think they're on their way down.
yeah. So that's an
Okay, which
opportunity for the
they
Redbirds to
surprised
climb.
everybody. Cincinnati surprised everybody this year.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I think their shortstop is starting to cool off a little bit too. So that kid they brought up in the minors,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and he's starting to cool off. Well, they got a book on him now. He's been around the league a couple of times. They know how to they know how to pitch him. He's going to have to make some adjustments.
Right, right.
It don't take long to get a book on somebody.
Yeah,
Not at this level.
yeah. And then you've got the Cubs, Pittsburgh, and of course your Redbirds next there.
Yeah, can you scroll up a little bit? See the rest of the
Sorry.
screen here?
Yeah, give me a second.
Yeah. Okay. I think we're going to probably catch, we're 40 and 53. Pittsburgh's 41 and 52. So we're only, a game out of, we'll get out of the cellar. I think we're going to be playing, I think Cardinals are going to be playing much better ball now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Pittsburgh, they're going to end up in the cellar.
Yeah,
At the end of the year, it's going to be probably Milwaukee, St. Louis, the Cubs, Cincinnati, and Pittsburgh.
yeah.
You know, I think the Cardinals will probably work their way up. We're 11 games out, 11 and a half games out. I think, I think maybe by the first week of September, we may be up to about 3 games out or 4 games out, which would be a
Mm-hmm.
pretty good deal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
We
there's
got Cardinals have got too many good ball players on the team.
yeah,
They just had a bad spring. Bad April and May.
yeah, yeah. Well, there seems to be somewhat of a shift in the National League West. The Dodgers somehow made it back up to first place, and Arizona went down to third. I thought Arizona was like first for a couple of weeks.
Arizona, the Dodgers, they've got, veteran ball players on that team, superstars, Mookie Betts, um, the whole lineup. They got some good pitching, and they struggled the first part of the year, but after the All-Star break, they're playing good ball now. So, and Arizona kind of played, Arizona's got a good young team, but they're probably about a year off.
Right.
So, okay, San Francisco playing good ball,
Yeah.
52 and 41. That's not bad. They're only a game and a half out.
Right. Right. And then of course you got the
And
Padres and the Rockies down at the bottom.
yeah, unless San Diego, you might see a trade with San Diego. Last year, San Diego made a couple big trades and got them into the playoffs. This year, if they start playing better, you
Yeah.
may see a major trade with San Diego
Yeah. Yeah.
if they get in there. But their payroll is like, oh God, their payroll is huge.
Yeah.
So, Colorado, bottom dwellers, you know, what
Yeah.
can I say?
Yeah.
They
Well,
play up there, up there in Denver, and
the air's too thin.
you can't have good pitching there. You got to have good pitching.
Yeah.
They play 82 games there or 80 games in Colorado, but then the rest of the time they have to play somewhere else. Well, you got to have good pitching. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's how it goes,
God forbid have to come down south where they've got to sweat.
Yeah, they go down to Miami or Tampa. They both got indoor stadiums down there. So,
Yeah. Yeah. All righty, Doug. So what any stories for us today?
mm, not really.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Yeah. How do you like my new addition? I got a Minecraft lamp there. I don't know if you could see it.
Um, I can see a little bit of it. Oh, how's
Telling you.
that? Where'd you get that at?
Actually, I've been eyeing it for a few weeks. There at Hobby Lobby, and let me move Darth out of the way. See if I can turn off the light here for a second. I don't know if you can see it now. Yeah, you see how the Minecraft uh, thingy is. So actually, it'd been on sale for a couple of weeks, and I was eyeing
Amazon
it.
Amazon Prime deal?
No, no, no. This was at Hobby Lobby here in Brownsville.
Oh, okay.
You know, every
Okay.
every couple of weeks they'll put their decor on sales, and the week that I was there, it was 50% off, and I was kind of like waiting for it to go further down. Well, it never did. But this weekend, I decided I might as well snatch it because it wasn't going to come back down any further. So, I got it for like $20 or something like that.
Oh, that's great.
So,
My grandson would love that lamp.
yeah, yeah. It was the
Some,
last one they had
some,
here. I don't know if they have one up at the store in Harlingen, but I'd been eyeing it for a while, and I said, nope, I better snatch it while I can. So, but
I'm surprised you don't
yes,
have a lava lamp.
actually, somewhere here, my daughter did, and I don't know what she did with it. I may get one of those next. Along with some CBD oil or something.
Did you buy anything off Amazon Prime? Was it Tuesday?
Oh, for Amazon Prime Day? No, I didn't. I didn't buy anything. I could have. I should have. I am a Prime member, but did you
I
buy
got
anything?
Diva. Yeah, Diva wanted a couple um skillets.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
Oh
And
wow.
I got to wear a bicycle helmet around the house all the time now because I'm afraid she's gonna hit me over the head with them. She got those, and then I got a a polar water bottle, an extra bottle for my bike
Yeah.
for like I don't know $8 or so, and then I got some bike shorts for reasonable price, 30% off.
Wow. Yeah.
That's about it. That's about it.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I didn't buy anything on Prime Day. Maybe the next time they catch something, maybe the next time they put something out, I will. But I don't know when. I think
What's
the
the what's
next.
the what's the latest SpaceX news?
Well, they had some kind of gas leak last night on the launch pad, and I think some people were trapped that went out to Boca Chica to the beach. They couldn't head back in this direction. So that was a little bit of a bummer, but they're still working down there nonstop. And of course, as you may have read,
Working nonstop.
yeah, Elon is saying that Twitter's losing a lot of money and that their advertising revenue has gone down by 50%. So I don't know what's going to happen there. You know, I know that Zuckerberg and company started their Threads app a few months ago. Now it seems to all the liberals obviously are now moving over to Threads because they don't like Elon Musk.
Or
So
Mastodon. Mastodon seems to be
yeah,
somewhat popular now.
yeah.
Is
So I
with the tech
actually
people.
I actually joined Threads tonight. On a personal level. I haven't made an account obviously for the show yet. I'm not sure if I will. I'm still gonna stick around with Twitter for a little bit, but I am watching Threads and see where that goes. You know, uh, but definitely all the liberals, are moving over to Threads, and then I was watching Leo today, and of course, they never have anything nice to say about Elon in general.
No, I never say anything. They never say anything good about him. He's so
So
Leo is so liberal. It's just some of his shows are pretty good, but I mean, he gets on those rants about Twitter and stuff.
Well, there was
And
one guy today he had, believe it or not, I don't know which of the shows I was watching today with uh, uh, that he did, but he had some guy on there. I don't know who he was, but he just went on a rant over Twitter and Threads, and he was definitely pro Threads. There was no doubt about that, and just talked all kinds of stuff. And I'm kind of surprised that Leo let him talk for as long as he did, because he kind of overtook the whole show. He had some other lady who was kind of Arab, and then another guy, but this guy just completely took over, and he was just bad
Mm.
mouthing Elon at every
I
possible
watched a little.
opportunity.
Yeah,
I don't know if you
he.
know
I
who I'm
watched a little
talking
bit.
about. You know,
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it today. It was This Week in Tech, and I know he had a Windows guy on there.
that's
I
the
think his
guy.
name is Ruben.
Yeah, that's the
Oh,
guy.
that's the guy,
Rubino. Yeah, Rubino was his name.
Rubino. Okay,
Oh, he was
he's
just
usually okay, but I don't know.
no. He was
I
very
tell
no, no, no,
you,
no, no. It wasn't Rubino. It was some other guy. He had
the other
Rubino
guy.
and a lady that was wearing one of those.
Yeah,
You know,
she had. There was a chick on there. I
yeah,
forget what her name is.
and it was
Yeah,
the other guy. It was this other guy, and he just went on, and I finally turned it off because I couldn't deal with it. I thought that was just a little bit too politically opinionated at that point. Just stick to
Jeff
the basic.
Jarvis. This Week in Google on Wednesdays. Jeff Jarvis is probably the worst. He gets
Yeah,
on there with Leo, and they go on and on and on. But he's from New York, and
yeah.
the New York University there, and he's part of the 1%ers. So
Well, the
he
one that
goes,
kind of surprises me that I can't even believe that Microsoft has kind of still lets them around on their campus is Thoreau. Thoreau's really brutal sometimes, even with covering Microsoft. I don't even know if
"Oh, you
I'd
talk
let him in
about
the
Paul Thoreau,
Paul Thoreau.
the
He's so
the Microsoft guy?
yeah. He's
Really?
not very positive sometimes when it comes to Microsoft or some of the products. I mean, rightfully
No,
so.
no, yeah, no,
Right
he's not. He's followed. He's been the Microsoft guy for
forever.
forever,
Yeah.
forever.
And I think
Okay, Paul
Mary
Thoreau. Yeah,
Jo Mary Jo Foley retired, right?
yeah. They've got some guy from Vancouver
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
British Columbia. He's
Oh
pretty
God.
good. I mean,
Yeah.
I've watched a little bit. I used to watch Paul Thoreau all the time
Yeah.
this weekend, but I've kind of like not watching much anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Steve Gibson's a guy I can't stand. Actually,
Why is that?
the guy I can't. Oh, well, he's so boring. If you ever want to if you have trouble going to sleep, just turn on, security now. Okay,
Well,
he'll put you to sleep.
well, let me tell you, Steve Gibson's got a product out there that he's had since like 1983. It's called
Yeah,
SpinRite.
yeah,
And
yeah,
what the deal was with SpinRite a few years ago, because I kind of worked in the cable industry, these set-top boxes had these hard drives where you would store all the content, DVRs. Well,
yeah.
if you take those hard drives and you try to connect them to a PC, when you connect them, you won't see anything. You can't see the contents of it because of the fact that it's encrypted. Well, believe it or not, Steve Gibson's program SpinRite is the only program today on the planet that can actually clone one of those hard drives in a DVR to another hard drive. So if you need to make a copy of that DVR, SpinRite, that's been around since 1983, is the
Been
only
around
program.
forever.
It's the
Been
only
around
program
forever.
that can do that. And yeah, you're right. Watching Steve Gibson is very painful.
Yes, it is. And, he also did the light pins. When I was working at McDonnell Douglas as a young engineer back in '84,
Uh,
we had these CAD tubes, and you took the light pin,
yeah.
and then you would be, you'd hit it with the light pin. The room would be dark, and the room would be pitch dark, pitch black, and
Uh,
it'd be like 20 below zero in there, right? Okay, and then you have these light pins, and you'd hit these light pins,
yeah.
and that's how you ran. And he had the patent on that. He come up with that back in the early '80s.
Yeah.
Smart guy, smart
Yeah.
guy. But
Painfully
I
to
mean, he's
watch.
like, yeah. No, the guy I can't stand anymore is Andy Anako on MacBook Weekly.
I don't remember who he is.
He's a guy with the sideburns, with the
Yeah, no way.
sideburns on there.
Yeah.
And yeah, he just goes on and on and on and on and on. Jason Snell, I like Jason Snell, and I can,
Yeah.
Alex Lindsay's okay too on Mac Pretty Quickly, but Andy Anako, he's got, those little Civil War generals with the side
Right.
with the pork chops on the thing. That's he's on there. He's an old Mac writer. He used to write for newspapers.
Yeah.
There's no newspapers anymore, so that's what he
Yeah.
does. But
Yeah.
oh, another baseball story I need to tell you. Did you hear what happened at the Cincinnati Hall of Fame announcements
No.
or ceremonies? Well, Johnny Bench, okay, great catcher for the Reds, fantastic catcher, okay, probably one of the best catchers in baseball history, if not the best. Just a straight up guy, okay, Oklahoma from Oklahoma, you know, no, never have any controversy. Well, they were honoring, it was a Cincinnati Hall of Fame, just like the Cardinals have the Cardinal Hall of Fame. Well, the ceremonies, and what they did is that there used to be a Cincinnati owner named Gabe Paul, general manager.
Okay.
Well, he's long passed. Okay, he's long passed. But his daughter was there. And then, and Pete Rose, I guess Pete Rose was there too. So he got up there. And so, Gabe Paul was going to go into the Cincinnati Hall of Fame. So, Pete Rose says, hey, this guy was a great great for baseball and all that. But he was frugal with the money because he signed him in 1961 for only $400 a month. Okay.
Wow.
And then when they got done, when Pete Rose got done, Johnny Bench was kind of like the MD or the the master of ceremonies of the whole thing. And he says, and Johnny Bench says, yeah, I can imagine that, Pete, because he is Jewish,
Oh my
and
gosh.
that caused us a big stir.
Oh
So now,
man.
and then Johnny Bench had to turn around and make a public apology later on Twitter or something.
Oh
You
gosh.
know,
Wow.
you know, but he was frugal.
Oh
Everybody
boy.
knows that.
Yeah.
Okay, and and I just finished all 6 seasons of Sopranos. I went back and rewatched it.
Yeah.
And there was a guy on there named Hesh, and he was
Okay.
Jewish, okay? And he was a record producer, ex-record producer, and he exploited black artists. And that's
Yeah.
how he made his money.
Yeah.
And, Tony borrowed 200,000 off of him, and Hesh would just, 2 points on the VIG, okay? As they say, 2 points on the VIG, okay? And, you know, and Tony kind of went to him as for advice because he's an older guy, right?
Yeah.
And they get on the phone, and Hesh would say, hey, I hate to bring it up, but I haven't got my VIG this week, $3,000 a week,
Yeah.
but I really don't want to ask you that, And
Yeah.
then Tony finally, he got really pissed about it. Obviously he got pissed about it. And
Right.
then finally he brought VIG, all this money to Hesh, and that was about it. But him being Jewish like that, and he was always trying to save money.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And, but, no, it's a well known fact. I mean,
Yeah.
but you can be frugal, but,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, or you can be Malaysian and be damn stingy.
there you go. Or you could be Mexican and just be cheap, you know.
Oh
you
my
know,
gosh.
this is a matter of I mean, a lot of people might get offensive about that, but I don't think anything about it.
Yeah.
Because I always say, Germans, they always like marching behind a band, and if you see a band, you usually see a bunch of Germans. Okay,
Yeah.
so I mean, you know,
With their pints. With their pints.
yeah, or yeah, and there are the Irish,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So
All
it's just the way
righty.
things are.
All righty, Doug. Well, this was
Don Rickles, Don Rickles made a career on that kind of stuff, right?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah.
People just get too butthurt these days, as I say.
Oh yeah, it's just terrible.
All righty, Doug. Well, that was it for this week in the MLB, and we definitely will be, covering some more next weekend.
Yeah, I
Um,
think you're gonna. I think you're gonna start seeing some teams pulling away now. I think
yeah,
as we get closer to the trade deadline, there's the teams that we think we're going to be good at the get in the beginning of the year. I think you're going to see that, like the Dodgers,
yeah,
they're just going to get any better, and then and the Dodgers, maybe the Cardinals,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
and some other teams,
yeah,
they got the talent. They just had a bit bad first half, but
yeah.
it should be interesting. Some of these trades.
Should be interesting. All righty, Doug. Well, thank you for coming on tonight. And everybody, thank you for watching. This was episode number 6 for Doug's Dugout. We will see you next week, and we'll cover the latest on the MLB. Doug, have a great evening, and we'll see you next week.
See you later, Danny. Take care.
All righty. Bye bye.